the sky. You mean flying? So you want to learn to fly?
Welcome to the world of paragliding. The aim of this film is to introduce you to this amazing sport and to explain the basic skills and theoretical knowledge that are essential for a long, safe and rewarding flying career. Man has always dreamed of free flying, the ability to fly like a bird and view nature and landscapes from a different perspective without the need of an engine or cumbersome machine. With paragliding, this is possible. All that is required is the correct equipment, training and knowledge. A paraglider is a foot-launched, ram air aerofoil canopy designed to be flown and landed with no other energy requirements other than the wind, gravity and the pilot's muscle power. Paragliding offers different types of flying and is a very personal thing, whether it be gently soaring flights in smooth air or epic cross-country adventures in strong thermals, or even radical aerobatics. The choice is yours. In any case, keep in mind that safety is the most important issue for a long flying career. Regardless of the direction you take, right now you're at a stage that all of them have in common: your initiation. Paragliding is organised within each country by a national federation. Their role is to oversee the sport as a whole, regulating the quality of training, organising insurance, and securing the rights for pilots to continue flying with all the current restraints on airspace. The quality of the training you receive is extremely important, as it establishes a strong foundation of learning and skills that will carry you throughout your flying career. Paragliding is a potentially dangerous activity. It's important that you're aware of this fact before going any further. You'll have to carefully evaluate the quality and reputation of the training you intend to receive. Many schools offer quality training courses encompassing both theoretical and practical aspects of flying. This DVD does not replace proper training in a recognised school. It is intended to be used as an aid to your learning experience, so that you can review any stage of your training in your own time. We will use animations to help visualize the theoretical course material dealing with the aerodynamics of flight, meteorology, and regulations. Experienced instructors will show you how to perfectly inflate a canopy, using both the forward and reverse techniques. This will give you an idea of the skills you should be aiming to learn. So you've decided to learn how to paraglide. It's probably one of the most exciting things you will have done in a long time. But remember, safety and fun are the main priorities. You must stay within the limits of your experience and be progressive, and don't skip over any of your training stages. Learning how to paraglide never ceases. There is always something to learn and improve on. This is one of the many factors that makes it so intriguing and addictive. We hope you enjoy this film. Good luck with your training and future flights.
The wingspan averages about 10 to 12 meters and the chord measures 2 to 3 meters. The chord is the greatest distance between the two edges of the wing. Its surface area ranges from 20 to 30 square meters. The section of the wing in red is called the leading edge. It has openings which air flows into when inflating and then during the flight, hardening the wing into its characteristic shape. The rear section of the wing in the foreground of the image is called the trailing edge. Here is where the upper and lower surfaces of the wing reconnect to form an airfoil. The extremities of the wing are called stabilizers. The surface of the wing on top is called the upper surface. The surface of the wing on the bottom is called the lower surface. The hollow space between the upper and lower surfaces is separated into several cells by ribs. The openings we see here are used to inflate the wing. The circulation of air between cells is made possible by holes in the ribs. Near the leading edge, the fabric used for the rib is much more rigid. Nylon or polyester threads are meticulously stitched to make the fabric flexible and light, while at the same time extremely resistant.
The wing is connected to the harness by carabiners. These carabiners are considerably oversized and can withstand weights exceeding 2,000 kilograms.
There are several different locking systems. Auto locking as seen here, twist locking or screw gate locking. Moving up towards the wing, we first come across the network of risers. Each riser, usually 3 or 4 of them depending on the model, is attached to the suspension lines, which in turn are attached to the wing. Attached to the rear riser is the braking system. The brake line is directly linked to the wing's trailing edge and slides along a pulley. At the end of each riser, a triangular quick link connects a group of suspension lines from a section of the wing.
Moving from one riser towards its group of suspension lines, you'll notice that the lines branch out twice into mids and uppers. The A risers, or front risers, are attached to the leading edge. The B and C risers are attached to the middle, and the D risers, also known as rear risers, are connected near the wing's trailing edge.
The distribution of the wing's suspension points places uniform stress upon the entire wing, thus giving it the correct airfoil shape and also helping to evenly distribute the pilot's weight throughout the wing.
The harness is where the pilot sits.
The first noticeable element of the harness is the compartment sticking out on the side. Known as the container, this is where the reserve parachute is located. The reserve parachute's deployment handle, here in red, is located at the top of this pocket.
The parachute straps leading out of the container are anchored to the harness near the shoulders using carabiners.
On the back of the harness is the storage compartment. This compartment is usually used to store your paragliding sack during the flight. Also located on the back and bottom of the harness is the bag protection. There are two main types: airbag protection or, as shown here, foam bag protection. The pilot sits on this seat board inserted in the harness, which makes it comfortable and allows the pilot to transfer his weight to control the wing. Let's look at how the pilot is attached to the harness. The harness is attached to the pilot in 3 important places, all 3 of which must be verified before every flight during the pre-flight inspection. First, the leg straps, which are easily fastened thanks to a quick lock buckle. Being able to slide your hand through is a good indication of how tight it should be. These straps need to be appropriately fastened so that the pilot is comfortable during his takeoff run. A little higher is the chest strap, which often has a threefold locking mechanism. In the center is the safety strap, which is there to remind you by its color and position to buckle up. Some older type harnesses do not have this. Instead, there's a single buckle. Adjusting the chest strap is simple, and by loosening it, the pilot's weight can be more easily shifted during the flight, making more maneuvers possible. However, when flying through turbulent air, the pilot may find having a chest strap too loose or too tight. It also affects the safety above of the glider. The shoulder straps need to be adjusted so that the bottom of the harness is level with the middle of the pilot's thighs. If the straps are too loose, the pilot may encounter difficulties during the takeoff run, as well as during the transition into a seated position. By tightening these straps, the pilot makes sure that the harness is adjusted to his size. A comfortably fitting harness is an added safety precaution. It makes flying easier and prevents the pilot from being uncomfortable during his flight. The objective here is not to teach you how to fold your reserve parachute nor how to use it, which may be done at some point during ground school. Rather, the goal is to raise your awareness about the issue and to help you visualize a parachute that is rarely seen during the training. It's a piece of fabric in the shape of a hemisphere with a hole in the center. It's important to understand that the reserve parachute is your last resort in case of an emergency. For that reason, it's crucial that it functions properly. That's why you should ask experienced instructors to help you fold and pack your parachute. Learning how to do this yourself during ground school is also recommended. The folded parachute is placed in the deployment bag. Once packed in the pod, it is then placed in the compartment on side of the harness called the container. As far as maintenance is concerned, your parachute should be aired out regularly. Unfolding, inflating and refolding it twice a year is recommended. You've probably been wondering what makes these pieces of fabric fly, why all of the gliders typically have the same shape, or even how this flexible structure manages to stay aloft above the pilot's head. Our focus on flight mechanics in this chapter will attempt to provide answers to all of these questions. At the very least, it will give you the basic understanding you'll need to pilot this peculiar aircraft. Let's start by looking at the basic shape of our paragliders. In this animation, we'll demonstrate the importance of the wing's profile. The goal is to optimize its penetration through the air and reduce drag as much as possible. We're going to see what happens to the air as it flows over these three profiles. Looking at the first profile, a simple plate, the molecules of air contained in the airstream are completely blocked in the middle. The air that flows beyond the plate is turbulent, which significantly increases drag. The airflow over this profile is similar to what happens when rowing a boat. The oar needs enough force to displace water, and as it displaces the water, small eddies form behind it. The second profile penetrates the air a lot better, as we can see here. The result is a much smoother airflow. The molecules of air flow smoothly over the front of the profile. However, too much drag is still created by this profile. The third profile has been improved so that the airflow is smooth from start to finish. Our profile will travel through the air